Hi, it's Lori with Milkweeds and Roses. Welcome back. Well, finally got some fall bulbs. It's time to get them planted. Sometimes that means moving some plants that are in a spot because maybe I just don't like the way the plants are looking. Have you ever had that where you just kind of get tired of them and they start to look so bad half the year? Seems like you're sacrificing a lot for 1 week of great and 6 months of not so great. So, in fact, I have some daylilies in mind. They were here when we moved in, and I just want to move them. I think there's a better spot for them and try some different things. Let's start with the unboxing. Okay, here we go. Ordered some things, as I have in the past, from Brex. A variety of different things that I've gotten from them. They always come with some catalogs and your receipt and that sort of thing. Okay, so these are some tulips. They're good size. I've got 8 bulbs of hot chocolate tulip, 8 of ballad tulips, Queen of the Night, Guinevere jumbo tulip. There's 10 in this one. Another hot chocolate. And another ballad. La Belle Epoque tulip, 8 bulbs. Now some of these I got for my folks' garden, so I'll plant those in there because they're repeats. Buy one, get one. Here's another La Belle Epoque. Queen of the Night, same thing. I imagine these are duplicates then. And Guinevere jumbo. So the good thing about planting tulips in zone 5B is that it certainly gets cold enough here. There's no problem with that. Some of the problem that I've had in the past has to do with rodents digging them up or rabbits chewing them off at the ground before the bloom ever happens. I've tried planting them in wire cages that I construct out of chicken wire and bury them with that. And sometimes that works. Sometimes though it's also a pain because tulips might bulb or might bloom reliably once and maybe a second year, but to get them to come back year after year after year, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time having that happen. Versus daffodils, yeah, that's more reliable. And I know that rodents are going to leave them alone. Narcissus, some of those other things that are distasteful or just downright poisonous, I suppose, to rodents, they tend to leave alone and they come up year after year after year. So, oh, sounds like I'm getting paged. Be right back. Okay, so sometimes Chihuahuas just bark because they can. Who knows? Either way, he certainly keeps me posted what's going on. Okay, let's take a look at some spots that we can maybe put these tulips. And again, half of them are going to my parents' garden that I started this year for the first time. They have a great fall garden with tons of salvia. They needed deer resistant. And of course, tulips are not deer resistant. So it's best if they can come up surrounded by daffodils or something else that would thwart them because it's just wide open. They don't have a fence, and nor is that kind of something that's done where they live. So we'll try that. I just wanted them to have something to look at for spring, a spring garden as well as just only a fall salvia garden, So let's start at the beginning though. First, let's take out some daylilies, move them, find a better spot for them that's got full sun, and then see if we can't fit some tulips in. Move some of the mulch that's around there first. See, this just starts to get messy after a while. I mean, it's so cramped in here together that it blooms less. So there's that. Plus, like I said, it's a mess most of the year. especially after it's done flowering. You just have to sit there at eye level and watch it wither and die, standing by itself. So I want to see if there's something else I can put in here, at least to move this or divide it. I do have a spot with full sun where it would be happy. Oop, and now there's some cord in there. That's why I have to be careful. Some electrical in there from the landscape lighting. My husband would not be too amused if I cut through it. We called Iowa One Call. You have similar ones in your states, I'm sure, to locate where all of the electrical wires and utility wires and things were. That was done a year ago. Actually, did it before that, but then did it again last year, inadvertently, when a neighbor cut the cable lines when he was doing an update to a fence. So as a result, the company came out, and since the cable boxes are in our yard, and that's where they had to go through to make the repairs, we had to mark out everything so you could just tell where stuff is. And that's why most of this stuff, all of this stuff, I have to do it slow, and I have to do it the hard way. Can't go in with an auger or a machine. While it looks like it'd be so much easier, I'd also hit a line pretty darn easy, so that would not be cool. Cut out service to the whole neighborhood, having seen how that goes. So, all right, there's that one. Now I think in this spot, I'm going to put plant some tulips. Here's another little side pup of some daylilies, some little pups. See, coming right off of the shoot. So I'm going to leave one little section in there. I kind of consider it insurance for rabbits that like to come through here. Maybe having a few blades of this in the soil near where tulips are will make them less inclined to dig. That's what I'm going to hope for anyway. All right. Most tulip bulbs you want to do 3 times the size of the bulb itself. That's the depth. And most folks know this by now, but yeah, it's pointy side up. So got some good bulbs in here. And the dirt's soft, so I'm just going to press them in. See what comes up. And the bugs are loving me in here. Okay. There's some bees. Hey, little fella, what's up? Oop. And I've found that a drift is more appealing than just a row. Looks more natural. So I think you'd be better off if you know that you've got tulip bulbs to plant. Do them sort of haphazard. You've seen that idea where you just take a handful, especially of smaller naturalizing bulbs, and scatter them on the ground, and where they land, that's where you plant them. So that part's up to you, but there we go. I was able to just press them into the soil at the depth that I wanted. And then we're going to replace the mulch. It's pretty scratchy. For that I will use my gloves. And then water these in. And just hope the squirrels leave them alone for the winter. To rebury that cord, landscaping cord. Keep the hubby happy. No, I didn't cut into the cord. I don't know, whatever you're talking about. Everything works just fine. Okay. Yes, here we go. Now, all of this detritus is from a daylily. As it dies back, as the leaves wither and die back, and you let it just die back. Don't cut them off right after they're done blooming, and cut off all the green foliage, because they need that energy to feed the bulbs again. Water this in. So we know we'll have something going on for spring, and I'll have to put a stake here, otherwise I will forget what's supposed to come up. So I've taken these hostas out, and I'll move those to an area of my backyard that's got more shade. And in their place, this is where I'm going to put the daylilies. Not to mention, they'll protect the purple pillar, the hibiscus that I've got here, which rabbits go after every spring. I kept it caged for a couple of months, in fact, just to keep them away from it. It hasn't had a chance to bloom yet, and this is its second year. So let's see if I can't give it a little bit of natural fencing, some protection with some daylilies, so they won't be able to smell this hibiscus and go after it. That's the theory anyway. We'll see how it goes. Put a clump over here. No, that's a little too big. Cut that in half. Maybe move it over here. Okay. I planted an aster right here. I want to give it some, I'll put a more permanent tag in than what I've got right here. But I have a couple of calico asters that I got from High Country Gardens. Those will get to be roughly this size up in here. Okay, this will be 6 to 8 feet tall once it grows, the hibiscus. It just hasn't had that chance yet. Another problem we have with this location is those black walnut trees, which are beautiful and sizable, mature, and their roots put out a chemical, juglone, to ensure their own sustainability. So it gets in the soil, and not everything is able to grow near a black walnut tree. Daylilies can, hostas can. It has to do probably more with their shallow root systems than anything else. So, okay, here's that first clump that I cut in half. It fits in there nicely. Okay. Give it a little pep talk. You know, and daylilies don't need a lot of fertilization. In fact, sometimes it's kind of counterproductive. Think of where they naturally came from, what they're used to. They got to grow tough. And this clump I'm going to put right over here to remove these to where they'll be in a better shade. I will sprinkle some Repels All here, because you know what, the critters will find a way to dig it up because they'll want, loose soil, let's plant some walnuts. And I'll try to remember I left it there, and they don't. And the last step is to give them some water. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, that's it for now. At least we've got, like I said, I think it's important that you pace yourself. Don't try to do everything just in one day. Break it out from day to day. Well, now the dogs are telling me it's time for their dinner, and sounds like the neighbors have started up their lawnmower anyway. So if it's not dogs, it's lawnmowers. Am I right? Take those moments and take the time and get done what you can, when you can. All right. Well, I'm Lori. Thanks for joining me here on Milkweeds and Roses. I hope you subscribe to the channel and like the video. Getting the perpetual update from the Chihuahua here. So in the meantime, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.